Der Beginnen is given dunkel wie Nacht. The daybreak or the morning was as dark as the evening. Die Sonne hat gezankt in Himmel wie Knekht. The sun was appeared in the sky like a knot or a candle.
It flickered.
Say that again, Michael?
Drunkenness flickered.
Thickened. Thank you.
Flickered. Uh,
Zagiat's is Zagiat's und seine Pacholkes seinen Weg in die Wälder hatten Bell. Zagiat's and his group or his troop or his people, seinen Weg, uh, they went, uh, they went on their way into the woods to catch bears. Stefan, Zagiats Sindel, ist herumgegangen über ein Dorf in hohe Stiefel, in ein Hittel von Marderfell, mit Lappen über die Ohren. Stefan, Zagiats' son, was walking around the village in tall boots and a hat of marten fur, I believe, mit Lappen, with, with Lappen, covering the laps, the things, the flaps,
yeah.
um, over his ears, in a feltzel, in a jacket, covered with red, mit rote Leder, und ausgehoften mit rote Fäden. In a feltzel, in a jacket covered with rawhide and embroidered with red thread. In der rechten Hand hat gehalten a Beitzel. In his right hand, he was holding a whip. Die Poerim haben gerufen Stefanen, the village people called Stefan, das zweite, wait just a minute, das zweite Tatele. Basically the small, the small father or the second father. Hat Jüngerheit ungeheuben bei Schlafmaiden. In his young years, he started to sleep with women or girls, showing gehat in durch a bintel mamzeren. He already had in the town. He already had a group, a pack of bastards. Stefan is given kurz, breitbeinig, mit a viereckigen Kopf, a verrissener Nose wie bei einem Mops und mit a verschorzten Kinn, was hat gehabt a Speltel inmitten. So let's go back. Stefan was short, broad-boned or broad shoulders, mit a viereckigen Kopf, means a square head. A verrissener nose, which I believe means a flat nose, wie bei a mops. Now, what's a mops?
A pug, a dog. A pug.
Say it again.
A pug, P-U-G.
Oh, a pug nose. Oh, thank you. A pug nose und mit a verschorzten Kinn, a shortened chin that had a dimple in the middle. Hat gehabt a Nomen von a Reiter. He had a reputation of being a good horseman. Sich abgegeben mit dem Vatershund, took care of his father's hounds, aufgestellt Haskes, Fachais und Fegel, put out traps for beasts or animals and birds. Als der Vater is weg auf Jagd, when his father went away on a hunt, hat Stefan übergenommen die Herrschaft. Stefan took over the business or the looking over everything. Hat geöffnet Tieren in Hattes. He opened doors of rooms or huts, geschnappt mit die breite Nusslöcher, geschnittert. He opened doors of the huts, looked in with his, or smelled, sniffed with his broad nostrils, and geschnittert. I don't know what that means, geschnittert.
No, it's nisteren, genistert. He was searching
Ah, thank you. So kind of smelling, sniffing what was going on.
part of the smelling.
Yes, thank you. Man hat allemal gekonnt gefinnen bei a paar Sachen, was Leute genetzt, gehören sie zum Preis. You could always find in a villager's place things that, according to the law, should belong to the nobleman or the poorets. Is rein in Schenk und bestellt Bramfen. He went into I believe that's the Schenk is the tavern, and ordered a Bramfen, vodka. Die Schenkerin, war trotzdem bedient, the tavern woman that served him, is given, she was seine Schwester. So she was a sister of his. Zagiak's Mamzeris, one of Zagias's bastards, aber Stefan hat ihr von deswegen mit dem Spitzbeitel untergehoben das Kleid. But in any case, Stefan took his beitel and picked up her skirt or lifted her skirt with the whip in any case. Noch a while hat sich der entert zu Jan Baschik's Chate. In a while, or in a short time, he went close to Jan Bachik's hut. Jan Bachik is a mol given a stickel choshev oif in Dorf. Jan Bachik was once a bit of a respected person in the village. Gehört zu die Poren, was Zagiak hat genommen unter sein Schutz. He belonged to the peasants, that Zagiak took under his wing or his influence. Aber Jan Bachik is schon alt und krank. But Jan Bachik was already old and sick. Das eigenem Tag, was hat sich umgekehrt mit die Rinder von Berg, the one day that he came down with his cattle from the mountain or the hill, is geworden verschlappt. He got a stroke, or he had a stroke. Is opgelegen.
He became ill.
He became ill. Okay, he became ill. Is opgelegen ganze Tag auf dem Piekalik und die Keuches seien ihm ausgegangen. He lay for whole days. For whole days, he lay on top of the oven. I believe that's the oven. his energies or his strength waned, went out of him. Hat gehust, gespiegen, geseder etwas gemurket, zu sich allein. He coughed, spit, constantly murmured something to himself. Klein, dar, mit lange Zeuten, Haar, Flich, small, thin, with long, straggly hair around his bald spot. Das Ponem reut wie Wildfleisch. His face red like raw meat, mit eingefallene Backen, with fallen or sunken cheeks, die ausgeballte Augen, the protruding eyes, Fahrzeugen mit blutige Odern, Fahrzeugen mit blutige Augen, his eyes were bloodshot, behangen mit machige Torbes. I'm not sure what behangen mit machige Torbes means. What does that mean?
Well, torbas a torba is a bag, and like mossica torbas, the eyelids were like, around the eyes were like mossy bags. Yeah, puffy eyes.
Okay. Von Kien haben noch gehangen kreutige Pasmes Haar from his, I believe, his head, his bald spot. There were straggly, matted bits of hair hanging down.
Kin is
Yeah. Is
chin.
that right, Michael?
No, kin is chin.
Oh, from his chin. Thank you. Jan Bacik is showing Jan Bacik is showing gehat gewen heintigen Winter a so schlaf, als man hat ihm genommen a Moss auf die Trumne. Jan Bacik was so in this at this time was so this winter time was so weak and that they already took a measure of him for the coffin. Aber ist wiedergekommen but he what's the word for it? He re-energized himself.
Recovered.
He yeah. Is gelegen mit dem Ponem zu der Stube. He lay with his face facing the house. Ein Auge zugeklebt, one eye glued, das andere offen, the other one open. Wie krank ist, also hat nicht aufgehört, Achtung tun auf der Wirtschaft. However sick as he was, he didn't ever stop watching over his environment or his business.
It's business economy.
Yes, his covered as a business. Hat sich zugeguckt zu jeden Kleinigkeit. He looked over every small detail. Man hat aufgehört, wie horchelt. They often heard how he would murmur. Stoig zu gar nicht. Lame in a hand. It's not worth anything. Lazy hands or worthless hands. Ob's gefällt dir nicht, if you don't like it, krieg herab von Piakilek. If you don't like it, get yourself off of the oven und weiß, was du kannst and show what you can. Hat geämpft die Betsichike, die Betsichike, a kleine, a schwarze, mit halb ausgekrochene Haar. Do what you can, answered the old woman of the house, a small, dark, with half half balding hair, a full ponem Wurzeln, a face full of whiskers, und krumme Augen wie bei Toter, and crooked eyes or uneven eyes, what's a Toter?
A Tartar, one of the Tartars were the people who lived in Crimea.
Oh, a Tartar.
Uh,
Thank you. Beata. Okay, I get it. So she had kind of slanty eyes. Morgen Beata. Man und Weib haben nicht gelebt bei Sholem. Man and wife did not live peacefully. Die Bashikere, the old woman, hat offen gerät, als der Mann ihrer ist schon ein Abgefahrener und es ist Zeit für ihn zu gehen, schlafen auf den Zementer. The old woman often said that her man is already done with kind of his life is over, and it's time for him to go sleep in the graveyard. I think I'm done. Thank you.
okay. Well, I think, you did very well then.
Dan Israel or Danny Jews.
Okay, I'll carry on then, and then Jacob, that's what Masha suggested. Basha kurz, breit, dunkel, mit hohe Kinnbacken. Basha short, broad, dark.
Dan Israel or Danny Jews.
Sorry? Basha short, broad, dark, with high jaws, und krumme Augen, speltlich, and crooked eye orbits, wie die Mutter like their mother. Hat gehad anomen for a Feuer, was known to be lazy. Sie ist glatt so gesessen auf dem Bett, und geglotzt auf die Finger und die Füße. She just sat on the bed and stared at her toenails. Von Mal zu Mal hat sie reingesteckt die Hand in bosom. Occasionally, from time to time, she put her hand in her bosom, gesucht lice, looking for lice. Wanda hat sich geporret beim Oven. Wanda busied herself at the oven mit a lopeta roast gerückt, a Lovenbrot, and with a spade she pulled out a loaf of bread. So wie sie hat getan in der Wirtschaft, as she did with the general household economy, hat sie Stillerheit gechazert. And while she was doing these domestic activities, hat sie Stillerheit gechazert die Rede, was Jakob hat zu ihr geredet. She quietly repeated what Jacob had told her, as der Allmächtiger hat erschaffen die Welt, that the Almighty had created the world as Adam and Chava seinen gewähnt, the erste Menschen, that Adam and Eve were the first people, as Abraham hat der erste, der Kont Gott, that Abraham was the first to identify God, and as Jacob is der Vater von alle Juden, and that Jacob is the father of all Jews. Wanda hat keinmal gar nicht gelernt. Wanda had never learned anything. Jacob's Werke haben sich eingesaugt in ihre Gehirn. Jacob's words went into, flowed into her brain, wie Regen in a Trockenfeld, like rain onto a dry field. Sie hat auch viele gedenkt, die Namen von die Schwarzen. She even remembered the names of the tribes, und die meisten. The story wie die Brüder haben verkauft, Joseph came Mitzrayim, how the brothers sold Joseph to Egypt. Stefan ist gestanden bei der Tür. Stefan stood at the door, mit zugehört zu ihr, murmeln nicht, and listened to her mutterings. Was redest du zu sich allein? What are you talking to yourself? Hat gefragt, he asked. Sagt Spruch oder was? Are you casting spells or something? Halt nicht up, offen die Tür, don't keep the door open, for it's all little Lord. Hat Wanda geantwortet auf linker violets. She answered, looking over backwards. Die Kälte kommt herein, the cold is coming in. Du bist der Heiße, you are a hot one. Bist ich nicht verfrieren, you will not freeze so quickly. And Stefan is herein in der Chatte, and Stefan came into the hut. Wo ist der Knecht, der Jid? Where is the slave, the Jew, in Shire, in the stall, in the stall? Will nicht da rein kommen in Stube. He doesn't want to come into the house. Shire is more of store. Stube.
It's a barn, isn't it?
It's a barn, yeah.
A barn.
Yeah. Will nicht da reinkommen in Stube. He doesn't want to come into the house. Will nicht, he doesn't want. Versucht, du liegst mit him. They say that you lie around with him. Basha hat getan, lacht. Basha laughed. Gewissen am breite, schittere Zähne, and she showed a mouth of scanty, wide teeth. Sie hat sich beleckt von Vergnügen. She was licking herself with pleasure, was die verrissene Schwester, that her proud sister kriegt a portion, is getting a portion of rebuke. Die Brickige hat abgestellt das Spinnrädel. The old lady, the Brick's wife, stopped the spinning wheel. Der alte Brick hat sich genommen, Treisen auf dem Pirkelik. The old Brick started shaking, moving on the plank bed above the stove, und schaden mit die Füßen, pushing around with the feet zwischen die Schwatters, between the rags that were over him. Wanda hat sich getan, warf wie von Abyss. Wanda stepped back as if she had been bitten. Mala was beiset, Mala was beiset, Mala was beiset singer Motlan. Who cares what angry tongues are gossiping? Maretas du talkst von him. They say that you are pregnant from him. Dos Poritzel is trying to licken. That little Lord is a lie. Hat die Brickige sich angerufen, the Brickige, the Wanda's mother, called out. Sie hat erst nur gehabt die Zeit. She's just had a period. Von wann weißt du, du guckst ihr noch? How do you know? Are you kind of watching her? Sie hat rot gemacht der Schnee vor dem Haus. She made the snow in front of the house red. Hat die Brickige Edes gesagt. She witnessed. She gave witness. Stefan hat getan als Schmitz mit der Beizel über die Holleves. Stefan hit the whip over his bootlegs. Die Balabatim willen von ihm Lois werden. The householders, the people in charge, want to get rid of him. Hat gesagt, noch nicht. He said after some hesitation, Wem tut schlecht? Who is he doing any harm to? Or there is our Kishufmacher. Oh, he is a magician, und all das Überreka and all the rest. Wie kommt es, was a pea given mehr milk von die andere. How can it be that your cows are producing more milk than the others? Says the Vater Jacob gets a mehr zu essen. It's because Jacob gives them more to eat. Mareta allerlei rede. People are saying all kinds of things. Let him opruimen. We will eliminate him. Opruimen. We will eliminate him. Das Vaterl wird ihm stellen vor ein Gericht. The little father will pass judgment on him. For was in, for what sin, what has he committed? Leid dir nicht kein feigelig in bosom. Don't think any nonsense van that. Met ihm zurecht machen. We'll finish him off und du wirst geboren von ihm a table, and you will give birth, deliver his son who will be a devil. Wanda hat sich mehr nicht gekonnt einhalten. Wanda couldn't restrain herself anymore. Nicht als was die schlechte Willen führen sie aus. Not everything that the evil ones want are they able to carry through with. Wat sie gerufen, she yelled. Says, Gott, there's a God in Himmel, in heaven, when beschützt jener was leiden von Unrecht, and he protects those who are suffering from injustice. Stefan hat ausgespitzt die Lippen wie zu pfeifen. Stefan puckered out his lips, he peeked out his lips as if to whistle. Wer hat es dir gesagt? Who told you that? Der Jid, the Jew? Unser Galachal predigt das eigene. Our priest preaches the same. Says von Jid, it's all from this Jew. What Stefan gerecht. Stefan said, if God beschützt him, if God protects him, was hat gelost, man soll ihm verkaufen für a Knecht? Why did God allow him to be sold as a slave? What is thine answer? What is your answer? How are we doing for time? Oh, plenty of time. Has anyone else come on yet? Okay, I'll do one more paragraph. And then Jacob, you can carry on. Wanda hat gewollt antworten. Wanda wanted to answer, nor sie hat gewusst was, nor sie hat nicht gewusst was, but she didn't know what to say. A Knäuel is ihr geblieben stecken in Gorgel, a knot remained stuck in her throat. Die Augen haben ihr gebrit, her eyes burned, und sie hat kaum eingehalten die Tränen, and she hardly managed to withhold her tears. Sie hat gehabt a Verlangen, was sicher zu gehen zu Jacob, and she had a desire to go the more quickly to Jacob, when ihm fragen die dosige halbe Kasche, and ask him this very difficult question. Sie hat mit verbrite Finger a Chapgeton a Laven. With scalded fingers, she grabbed the loaf of bread mit a Flederwisch im bespritzt Wasser, and with a feather duster spread, poured some water on it. Das Ponem was his side by side gewesen, verflammt von oben, her face, which in any case was red from the oven, is geworden rood von Zorn, became red from anger. Stefan is noch gestanden a while. Stefan stood for a while longer, betracht mit Genitschaft, geruchen, looked with pleasure or enjoyment at her back, die Hüften, her hips, die Litkes, her thighs, die Litkes von die Füße, her calves. Von Mal zu Mal hat getan a Wunk. From time to time he winked to their Schiedsrichter und zu waschen. He winked at at Wanda's mother and her sister Basha. Basha hat gemacht zu ihm kindlich. Basha actually was flirting with him. Die Britische hat unterleckerisch geschmeichelt zu ihm mit die ledige Jasnes. And the mother flatteringly smiled at him with her empty gums. Noch a while is Stefan weg. After a while, Stefan left. Hat getan a five setzt mit der Tür. He gave a whistle and he slammed the door. Wanda hat geguckt durch ein Fenster. Wanda looked through the window, gespannt weiter zum Berg to how he was heading to the hills. Arasha v'Esav, a evil man like Esau, the Pharaoh like Pharaoh, full mit Bays und Hinterlistigkeit, full of anger and slyness. Seit Wanda hat him gedenkt, ever since Wanda has known him, hat meiert geplappelt wegen Hargenen. Ever since Wanda has known him, he has only muttered about killing, panicking, torturing, mishpaten, judging. Hat geholfen dem Vater Keulen und Krellen Chaserin. He helped his father kill and Krellen scratch pigs, as presumably as part of the killing process of pigs. Do you have an idea what the Krellen means, seeing as I don't have any experience of pigs?
I couldn't find it in the dictionary.
Couldn't find it now. No, I couldn't either. Zagajek hat aufgefasst zu schmeißen Feuer. When Zagajek had decided to beat up one of the peasants, is Stefan gewesen derjenige, was hat Rang geschnitzt. Stefan used to be the person who would deliver the blows. Viele die Spuren, was die Stiefel seine haben übergelost auf dem Schnee, even the tracks that his boots left over the snow, seinen voll mit Mutwilligkeit, are full of arbitrariness. I'm not sure. Anyway, mutwillig is arbitrary. But, Wanda hat genommen murmeln Achilla. Wanda started murmuring a prayer. Vater in Himmel, God in heaven, wie lang wirst du im Schweigen? Wie lang wirst du im Schweigen? How long will you be silent towards him? Give him Marcus the Pharaoh. Give him plagues like Pharaoh, like we gave to Pharaoh. Soll ertrunken werden in Yam? May he drown in the sea. Die hat gehört, wie die Mutter sagt. She heard how the mother said, will dich, Wanda, will dich. He really wants you, Wanda. Bleiben beim Willen. He will be left wanting. I'm not going to do anything. Wanda, is Zagajek's Zindel. Wanda, he is Zagajek's son. Kann unterzünden unser Hatter. He can burn down our hovel. Was wollen wir damit tun? What will we do then? Schlafen in das? Will we have to sleep in the street? And I think that's the start.
Gott wird nicht erlosen. God will not permit this. Basha hat getan a Sitz, a Reus mit a Gelächter. Basha burst out laughing. Was lachst du, Basha, huh? Why are you laughing, Basha? Basha hat nicht geantwortet, and Basha didn't answer. Wanda hat wohl gewusst, als die Mutter und die Schwester seien auf Stefans Seite. Basha, Wanda knew very well that her mother and her sister were on Stefan's side. They supported him. Sie haben sie gewollt überentfernen zu Schand. They wanted to abandon her to shame. Auf der Altersstern ist gestanden a krummer Knekht. On the old woman's brow, there was a crooked wrinkle. Die ledige Mäuel, herumgeringelt mit Knätschen, her empty mouth, surrounded by wrinkles, hat geschmeichelt mit der Schmeichel, was hat geteinet. Her empty mouth, surrounded by wrinkles, smiled with a smile which argued. 90 zu Libazar Kleinigkeit einzureißen mit Stefan Zagayek? Is it worthwhile, because of such a small matter, to pick a quarrel with Stefan Zagayek? Is der Starker, darf man ihm noch geben. He is the stronger one, and one needs to yield to him. Das Tatele hat genommen etwas Murmelen von Pierkelik Arop, and the old father began to mutter something from the plank bed on the stove. Fotterel, was sagst du? The little father, what are you saying? Was hat gewollt, huh? What does he want? Die Bejikkige hat sich zerlacht, and the Bjik's wife burst out laughing. Was will a kotter von a Katz? What does a tomcat want from a cat? Er hat schon alles vergessen, hat Basha geschäptet. He's forgotten everything, Basha whispered. Wanda, Tochter, du bist gerecht. Wanda, my daughter, you are right. Los nicht, soll dir machen a Mamser. Don't permit him to make
implant you with.
Sorry, to
implant you with. You shouldn't give birth to a mamzer.
Yeah, to a bastard. Hat der Socken geprippelt mit a weinendige Kolchel. The old man muttered with a little voice that was almost like crying. Und mit a Ton von Suckenschlafen, was lost über a Zwoer vor sein Teut. And with the voice, the tone of a seriously ill person who was leaving a will before his death. Wenn du wirst in Trogen vergehen, if you fall pregnant, wird on dir vergessen. He will forget about you. Hat genug Mamzerim on dir, der Treuer. He has enough bastards without you, that skunk, that polecat. Und Jan Bжik hat herausgelost etwas a so eine jammerndige Singenischen nicht von der Welt. And Jan Bжik emitted a sort of sing-song lament which was not of this world. Wanda hat sich der Mond on die 10 Gebot, and Wanda was reminded of the 10 Commandments, was Yaakov hat sie ausgelernt, which Yaakov had taught her, as me darf halten ehrlich Tata Mama, that one should respect one's parents. Vater, du willst etwas? Father, do you want something? Jan Bжik hat nicht geantwortet. Jan Bжik didn't answer. Bist hungrig oder durstig? Are you hungry or thirsty? Der Socken hat herausgebracht ein Gemisch von Wein und Agenitz. And the old man emitted a mixture of wine and a yawn. Ich darf Mashtin sein. I need to urinate. Krieg herab und geh raus in draußen. Climb down and go outside. Hat die Bжikige sich angerufen. His wife called out to him. Do in Chata nicht a Stall. This here inside the hut it's not a stable. Es ist mir kalt. I'm cold. Tatala, do hast du. Father, you have to go outside. Und Wanda hat ihm erlangt a Becken, and Wanda gave him a basin. Der Alte hat sich geprüft aufstellen. The old man tried to stand up, aber der Balken ist gewinnt zu niedrig, but the ceiling was too low. Hat niederkniet, and he knelt. Hat lang gewart, aber das Schnirrel hashtona, he waited for a long time, but the trickle of urine is nicht heraus. It didn't come out. Basha hat rein gerichtet in sich. Basha giggled to herself. Die Alte hat mit Geringschätzung geschockelt mit dem Kopf. The old woman shook her head in disdain. Noch a while haben genommen fallen in Becken einzige Tropens, and after a while a few drops fell into the basin. Nu, take schon zu gar nicht, hat die Bжikige gerät. No, so he's good for nothing. His wife said, Mutter, is dein Mann und unser Vater. Mother, he is your husband and our father. Wir müssen ihm halten ehrlich, hat Wanda geteinet. We need to respect him, Wanda claimed. Basha hat von Snai sich gelacht, and Basha burst out laughing once again. Wanden is ongekommen gewein, and Wanda, she began to cry. Jakob hat ihr gesagt, as Gott is a gerechter. Jakob had told her that God is just. Belohnt die Gute. He rewards the good ones, the good people. Bestraft die Böse. And he punishes the evil ones. Aber Stefan, der Ledigeier, der Hurenjung, der Mörder, is stark wie a Demb. But Stefan, the loafer, this promiscuous youth, the murderer, who is as strong as an oak, und das Tatele, was hat a ganz Leben gearbeitet, schwer, und keinem nicht getan kein Unrecht, zerfällt sich wie a Churve. And their father, who had worked hard his whole life and had not done anything bad to anybody, he goes to wreck and ruin, and like a dilapidated house. Und das Gericht and the justice, Wanda hat genommen gucken zum Fenster. Wanda began to look through towards the window. Der Entfer hat gekonnt kommen bloß von Shire von Jakob. The answer could only come from Yaakov, from the barn from Yaakov. Wenn Emets wollte einmal gesagt Jaakoven, als wird sich austeinen mit der Poerte wegen der Säune in Jonim wie Bechira, Tachlis Habria, Tzadik Veralo, freier Obkleub, der Zweck von der Beschaffung, und für was es schlecht dem Tzadik, wollt das gehalten für a Spaß von a Leid. If somebody had told Yaakov that he would discuss matters with a peasant woman about such things as free choice, the purpose of creation, evil things happen to a righteous person. So this is just a translation of these terms into Yiddish. He would have thought that this was the joke of a joker, the mocking of a joker. Aber me weist keinmal nicht zu, was Treffen von Tag, was die Treffen von Tag können derfieren. But one never knows what the events of the day, what they can lead to. Wanda hat gefragt und Jakob hat geantwortet. Wanda answered And Yaakov answered, Loit sein Hasoga, according to his understanding. Is gelegen mit ihr in Shire, übergedeckt mit ein Decker. He had lain with her in the barn, covered by a blanket. Als Zindiker was recht die Siyagim von Talmud. He is a sinner who had broken the safeguards of the Talmud. Und hat auf dem fremden polnischen Loschen geprüft, ihr geben zu verstehen, was hat gelernt in this forum. And he tried in this foreign Polish language to give her to understand what he had learned from the forum, the religious books. Hat gesagt, he said to her, Gott is von ewig auf. God is eternal. Hat allemal gehad alle Kräften. He had always omnipotent, and he had alle Mittes, aber bloß wie etwas, was is möglich, nicht auf der Welt. So he was omnipotent. He had all the good traits, but only that which is possible, and only that which is true. Wie kann man sein ein Vater, wenn es seinen noch nicht stocken Kinder? How can one be a father when there are no children have yet been born? Wie kann man sein erbarmlich, als es nicht sto, wenn man sich zu erbarmen? How can one be merciful when there is no one to be merciful to? Wie hat Gott gekonnt sein ein Ausleser, ein Helfer, ein Beschirmer, als es ist nicht gewesen, wenn man auszulesen? How could God be a redeemer, a helper, a protector, when there was no one to redeem, zu helfen und zu beschirmen? There was no one to redeem, to assist, to help, and to protect.